are here at Snapdragon for India. This is the third edition. Great to have you, Chris. Always a pleasure meeting you. This time in Delhi. Welcome here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Very happy to be here.
Let's quickly dive in. Obviously the topic which has been concerning everyone is the state of the industry right now, the macroeconomic conditions, the way they are, the memory-related surge and whatnot. What's your take? How are we looking at it, for the year and the time ahead as such?
Sure. Yeah, I think this is a pretty unique moment where we're seeing component costs are going to rise. We just know that is what's happening on memory supply, really driven by data center AI demand consuming the memory wafers. So we know that is what's happening. Yet at the same moment, we know consumers expect more, not less. So there's going to be, a challenge here, a tension here between these two. So we think the key kind of responsibility now, the key, the way to solve it sort of for the OEM and the way to solve it for SoC and platform vendors like us is actually to sharpen, our focus on end user experiences, which is now, instead of just saying it's a great platform, it's a great phone, we have to go much further and talk about exactly how it will impact the user's life, so the user can make the right decision for themselves and for their lives. Today we announced a couple of new platforms that we're very proud of, the 4 Gen 5 and the 6 Gen 5. So just one of the features on those two platforms is going to be what we call smooth motion UI, which means the user can have a very different experience when kind of scrolling the device, even if it's the end of the day. You use the device all day. A lot of apps have been opened. Consumers still want it to be a smooth experience, to be kind of an elegant, elevated experience. So the smooth motion UI is going to provide that. Consumers want the best camera, even in a phone that's more affordable. And so again, we have a solution now to provide that. So anyway, this is what we think is the right thing for us and for the whole industry here is to be sharper still on what is the benefit to the end user so they can make the right decision.
And that's something, the launches that we are speaking about today at Cybermedia Research, our research is pointing out to consumers in India especially being more and more aspirational as such. And when we talk premium, premium is cutting across price segments. So even if you look at the lower tiers as well, they are demanding more.
That's right.
I believe those two new platforms that you spoke of on the stage, they do address that. If you can just quickly dive into both of those two new platforms, that would be great.
Sure, of course. So again, the 4 Gen 5 and the 6 Gen 5, right? So two platforms, two different segments for us. A common element across each of them is going to be really a big improvement on the GPU. So again, the smooth motion UI as one of the user experiences, another one being gaming. So a big uplift on kind of the gaming experience. And then again, at Qualcomm, we're very focused on how are people using these devices and how do we craft the technology to focus on those things. So again, very excited. Advanced connectivity, right? So things like your Bluetooth connection now will be very reliable, very high quality. Kind of audio experiences, camera experiences, making sure, even though it's a user who's buying something in the more affordable section of our portfolio, they get a camera experience that's going to be delightful, is going to capture these moments that are so dear and close to them. So anyway, we're very proud of the new platforms. We're proud of the adoption across the industry, and we think they're going to have a big impact.
Okay. The last thing, when we look at the time ahead as such,
right.
And Cristiano has been talking about this, 6G in particular.
Right.
What's the timeline looking like in terms of, when do we see the first demos? When do we see the new phones launching therein as such?
Right. I've had the pleasure, the responsibility, the honor of kind of working on every one of these Gs in some way or another. So every one of these is very exciting. It means new user experiences coming, new capabilities coming, really just of mankind. So this one is very interesting, really focused on AI, right? On the kind of the traffic patterns of AI. So for example, AI means you're going to be talking to your phone more. Your phone's going to be talking to the cloud more in a different way. And so you have to be ready for those kind of traffic patterns. Anyway, a host of changes and new user experiences. So we're excited. We think the commercial launches will likely be in maybe 29, sort of late 29, but a pretty ambitious set of goals leading up to that, with some big public demos and standards work and things like that, getting us ready for kind of late 29. But anyway, we're very busy working on 6G. At the same time, we're working on platforms kind of across the range. So we're excited.
Great. Last question. Like you touched upon AI as well.
Mhm.
There has been that theme which has been running. We are moving from an app centric to an agentic
That's right.
first. Let's touch upon that as well.
Yeah. So yeah, it's this new kind of paradigm, right? Where instead of just doing a task, you use your phone to do a task. Now, what you're expecting is your phone or any kind of edge device really to sort of understand your intent and take multiple actions on your behalf. Even ongoing actions. For example, let me from now on kind of monitor if I get any email, about media in India. Here's what I want to do. I want to flag it as something that's important. I want to take this thing. I want to summarize it, and I want my phone, my edge device, to take these ongoing actions on my behalf. So very powerful, right? To break the border, the boundary across applications, and this idea of continuous action on my behalf. So the idea is we're all going to have an assistant. It's going to be, your phone that's in your pocket. That's always going to be working for you. Always going to be kind of carrying out your intent all day, every day. So it's going to be a very powerful kind of multiplier for each of our own personal kind of productivity, each of our own creativity. So we're very excited.
It's always wonderful to speak to you. It's great to see the path that Snapdragon is on. Wish you all the best, and look forward to more such interactions. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Great questions. Thank you.